I still remember the night we had dinner at Chez Laurent. The table was set for 6 people. My mom, my dad, my brother Jake, my grandparents, and me. I had made the reservation 3 months before at Chez Laurent, this restaurant downtown. My dad always said it was too fancy for us because we are a family that likes food. I had just graduated at the top of my class, which is a really big deal, so my family wanted to celebrate at a place like Chez Laurent. The guy in charge of the restaurant kept looking at me with a face like he felt bad for me because my date was not showing up. "Maybe the person you are waiting for is running late," he said, even though I had already been sitting there for 45 minutes moving my napkin around and checking my phone for the millionth time. I got a text message that morning when I was getting my graduation gown ready. It said, "Honey, something came up. Jake's friend had tickets to Paris, and we decided to make it a family trip to Paris. You know how much Jake wants to go to Paris. I know I can count on you to understand. You are always so good at handling things. We will have a celebration when we get back from Paris. Love you." I called the number 6 times. Every single time, it went straight to voicemail. The person I was trying to reach was not answering the phone, so it kept going to voicemail. I'm sitting in this restaurant. It is really nice here. The lights are not too bright. The couples are talking quietly. I see the server coming over to me. She looks like she feels a little bad for me. The server has a way of talking to people, like me. "Should I take away some of the plates and stuff?" she asks me in a voice. I said yes. All of the people I was talking about, they were gone. It is just me now. She was being really quiet, picking up the silverware and plates that nobody used. I was looking at my phone. Aunt Martha had sent me a message that said, "I'm so proud of you. Please send me some pictures from the party." Then Uncle Ron sent a message that said, "Your mom and dad must be really happy. You are the valedictorian." I got the duck confit, which is my dad's favorite thing to eat. I was eating it. I was not really paying attention to what I was doing. I was looking at Facebook on my phone. That is when I saw it. My mom had made a post 2 hours before. The picture was of my brother Jake standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. My mom and dad were standing on either side of him. All 3 of them were wearing the t-shirts that said Brooks Family European Adventure on them. I had no idea they were going on a trip like that. The thing my mom wrote under the picture was, "Making memories." The duck confit was my dad's food, and now I was thinking about my family's trip to Europe and how I did not know about the Brooks Family European Adventure. There are 137 likes far. My grandma had written a comment that said, "Where is our graduate?" My mom said that she had plans with her friends. You know how busy my sister is. She always has something going on with her friends. My mom was saying that my sister had plans with her friends. The wine was bitter. Everything was bitter. I spent 4 years staying up at night. For 4 years, I had to tell my family, "I'm sorry, I cannot come home this weekend. I have an exam on Monday." For 4 years, I was the one who never needed anything from my family. I never caused any problems for them. I never asked them for attention. And this is what I got? I had to eat a $60 duck confit by myself. At the time, my family was making memories without me. The server came back with a dessert that I did not order. "Congratulations on your graduation," the server said in a voice. "This dessert is on the house." The server had heard my phone call to my roommate, the call where I tried hard not to cry, while I was telling my roommate why I was sitting all by myself at a big table that could fit 6 people, and I was wearing my best dress. I did not post anything that night. I did not put up any pictures of my diploma. I did not take any selfies wearing my cap and gown. I did not even talk about the speech I gave to those 3,000 people. I just paid for my food, went back to my apartment. It was empty. Then I packed up the things I had collected over 4 years of my life and put them in boxes. My family came back 2 weeks later. They were really tanned, had a lot of stories to tell. My dad looked like he had lost some weight. I thought it was because of the food they ate in Europe. He gave me a hug. He was already talking about Jake getting into his favorite college. He did not even ask me about my graduation from college. I was about to tell him that I was the valedictorian. My mom saw me and slightly shook her head. Her look was saying that I should let them talk about their trip and not make it about me and my graduation. I did not do it. I never actually did it. 2 months later, I understood why. The dean called my name, and I walked across that stage with my head held high, scanning the crowd for faces I knew wouldn't be there. Section B, row 15, seats 4 through 7. I'd texted them the exact location twice. The seats were filled with strangers. Of course they were. Marcus had his championship game today, the one that would determine if he got that full ride to state. The dean said, "Sarah Chen." I walked up to get my diploma. I was smiling. It was not a happy smile. A photographer took a picture of me shaking hands with someone I did not know. My family was not there with me. They were sitting in the bleachers at home, 500 miles away. I was alone in that moment. Alone with Sarah Chen, my name being called out. It felt weird. I drove to Applebee's afterward. It had become a family joke over the years. Whenever Marcus won a big game, Dad would say, "This calls for a celebration. Applebee's, here we come." We'd all grown, but secretly I loved those nights. The mozzarella sticks, the riblets, Dad's terrible jokes about the fancy dining establishment. The hostess asked me, "Is it one person?" I said, "That is all I need, one." Then I sat down in a big booth that can fit 4 people. I ordered everything we usually get, the sampler platter, the riblets, and even the expensive margarita that Mom always wanted. The waitress looked surprised at how much food I ordered, but I just smiled at her. I said, "I am celebrating," because that is what I was doing. I was. I got all of the food that we like, including the sampler platter and the riblets and the margarita that Mom always liked. The bartender was a woman named Denise. She had kind eyes and her hair was starting to go gray. Denise saw me taking a picture of myself with my diploma to the salt shaker. "Is it your graduation day?" she asked when it was quiet for a moment. I said to her, I found myself telling her everything about being the child. I am the child stuck between Marcus, who is really good, that's sports, and Lily, who is the baby. I told her about how my family would say, "We will try to make it to my events." It would always turn into, "Sorry, something came up." I had to eat celebration dinners by myself in my dorm room, watching Marcus play his games on the computer. Denise gave me a drink. She said, "To you," in a voice, "to doing what you want, even when nobody is looking at you," she said about doing things. Denise was talking about being brave and doing things when the people around you are not paying attention to what you are doing, like Denise said. My phone buzzed. It was about time. I picked it up fast, hoping to see a lot of messages saying sorry or at least trying to explain what happened with my phone. I was waiting for something from my phone. My mom sent me a text message that said, "Congrats, Sarah. Marcus won the thing." I need to call my mom to talk to her about Marcus and what he won. Sarah. My mother got my name wrong. She wrote it incorrectly on my graduation day. My own mother did that. It was my graduation day. She still spelled my name wrong. Denise saw my face fall apart. She said, "Honey." I said, "It is fine." That was not true. I drank the shot of alcohol. I told myself I am used to drinking this much. I was there until they closed the place. Denise came over to check on me when she was not busy, with customers. She brought me sodas and listened to my stories. I told her about the Christmas when they forgot to hang my stocking. I told her about my birthday that they kept putting off because Marcus had tournaments. They did that 3 times. I also told Denise about the parent-teacher conferences that they never went to. They said it was because Sarah never causes any problems. Denise listened to all my stories about the times I felt forgotten, the times I was overlooked, the times I was erased. I drove back to my apartment in silence. The diploma was on the passenger seat. It felt like the world's consolation prize. I looked at my phone. There were no missed calls from anyone. I did not get any "where are you" texts from Marcus or my friends. My Instagram was flooded with photos of Marcus's victory. My mom and dad were in every shot, beaming with happiness. They were with Marcus in all the photos. 3 weeks went by before I found out what was really going on. For 3 weeks, I did not get any calls from them. Short messages, and they would say, "I'm busy right now," when I tried to talk to them. I spent these 3 weeks getting my things ready to move to a place for my new job, and I kept telling myself that I was not going to be ignored anymore. Then, Aunt Janet called. She said, "Sarah, where have you been? We have all been at the hospital. Your dad is really sick. Did not anyone tell you about your dad?" The whole world seemed to tilt. Tell me what? He had a heart attack at Marcus's game. That is really scary. It has been very tough for him. He keeps asking for you. We all thought that you already knew what happened. Your mom said she called you, so we figured you were aware of the situation, with Marcus's game and his heart attack. But she hadn't. In the chaos, in the drama, in the center of Marcus's spotlight, they'd forgotten me again. Only this time, it cost everything. My mom left a note on the coffee maker. She used a Mickey Mouse magnet to stick it there. The note said, "Went to Disney with Tyler. We thought you would be too busy with your friends to notice that we were gone. We will be back on Sunday. Mom." I read it 3 times, waiting for it to make sense. Today was my graduation. We'd talked about it for months. Dad had promised to wear his lucky tie, the ugly green one he wore to all our big moments. Except, apparently, this one. I was sitting through the ceremony. I felt really out of it. There were lots of families around me. They all had flowers and balloons. Then they said my name, and I got up and walked across the stage. People I did not know were clapping for me. It was not very loud. The photographer came up to me, asked if I wanted to wait for my family to take the official photo. I said no to the photographer. I told the photographer that the people there were my family, the ceremony people, that is. Everyone I had. Afterward, I drove to Morton's Steakhouse, the expensive one Dad always said was for special occasions only. Well, this felt special enough. I ordered the porterhouse and the lobster tail, a bottle of wine I couldn't pronounce, dessert I didn't want. When the check came, I pulled out Dad's emergency credit card, the one he'd given me freshman year, only for real emergencies. Being left alone on the day you graduate is a really big deal. I mean, what could be worse than that? If that is not an emergency, then what is an emergency? Being abandoned on graduation day is a problem. I was eating my steak, which cost a lot of money, when my phone started blowing up on Instagram. My cousin Ashley put up a story that said, "Disney Day with the family." There they all were. My mom, my dad, my brother Tyler, my aunts and uncles, and my cousins that I had not seen in a long time. I even saw my grandma in a wheelchair. My grandpa was pushing her. The whole family was at Disney Day. The whole family was at Disney Day. I was not at Disney Day with the whole family. The comments poured in. "Where's the graduate?" someone asked. Mom replied, "She had plans." Plans. Right. I spent the next week packing up my apartment, preparing for my move to Seattle for my new job. That's when I found the box of old photos Mom had given me sophomore year. "Thought you might want these for your dorm." I had never really gone through these things before. Now, with nothing but time and wine, I spread the photos across my floor. There was Tyler's birthday, and a dozen relatives were crowded around his high chair. I saw the Christmas from 1998. Everyone was wearing matching pajamas. I also saw the summer vacations, the Thanksgiving dinners, and the Easter egg hunts. The old photos of summer vacations were really nice. The Thanksgiving dinners looked like a lot of fun. I liked looking at the Easter egg hunts. I wasn't in any of them. No, wait, I found one. A family reunion photo from 2001. I was in the family reunion photo, standing us to the side. I was partially hidden behind Aunt Carol. When I took a closer look at the family reunion photo, I realized that the family reunion photo had been cut. The edge of the family reunion photo was too clean and too straight, so I knew someone had trimmed the family reunion photo. I looked closely at the pictures. I found a lot of photos that had edges, which seemed kind of weird. There were group pictures where the way they were framed did not look right. I saw birthday parties where the cake was not in the middle of the picture. It was like someone had been cut out of the picture. The birthday party photos with the cake that was not in the center made me think that photos of birthday parties were changed, like photos of birthday parties were altered to cut someone out. Then I found this picture. It was stuck to the back of a birthday card that had been hidden behind the pictures. The whole family was in the picture. It looked like we were at a courthouse. My mom was holding some papers. My dad was signing something. There I was. I was about 3 years old. I was wearing a dress that I did not know I had. I was holding the hand of a woman that I had never seen before. The woman was someone I did not recognize. All my family was all in the picture with this woman. I did not know who she was. My phone rang. It was my mom. "Hi, sweetie. How was graduation?" I told her. "You were at Disney." "That thing?" Tyler really wanted to go to that thing. We figured that Tyler would have a good time if we went to that thing. "Who was the woman in the courthouse photo?" Silence. Then, "What photo?" "I told you about it." The silence went on and on. "Mom?" "That was a long time ago, Sarah. It does not matter now." But it did matter. The truth came out in pieces over the few months. I found out about the adoption that happened when I was 3 years old. There was a worker in this old photo. My dad's memory had started to get bad about 5 years, and he would forget things that had just happened. He would even forget that I was adopted, and sometimes when I went to visit him, he would ask me where I came from. It was really sad. They thought it would be easier if they just have let me fade out of his life. They stopped taking me to see him and stopped talking about me around him. They did not want to confuse him. The adoption was something they did not want to remember, so they just stopped bringing it up. My mom said to me, "We do not know how to tell you." And then the situation just became something that we got used to, my mom said. It became normal. The situation became normal. Normal. Being erased had become normal. Dad died 2 months later, never remembering he had a daughter who graduated college alone, who ate dinner by herself while her family celebrated without her. In his mind, in his reality, I simply never existed at all.